Hello, Happy New Year. I don't know if you can hear those waves crashing behind me. I'm just at the Sunshine Coast. It's overcast, but still glorious. And I just want to wish you a very Happy New Year. I also want to just quickly shout out a few people that have jumped in, downloaded the show, listened, and then messaged me. So lovely of you. So thank you for that. Shout out to Petra Zink, Joe Alilovich, Emma Avery, and Carolyn Robertson over in Ireland. How fantastic. So much for tuning in. And here's an episode I recorded around your Misogi for this year. So enjoy the listen. Oh my goodness, it's episode 1 of this daily podcast. I'm going to be doing it for 365 days of the year. And today is the first episode. I can't believe I'm doing it. And I'm just going to share a few reasons on why I'm attempting this project in 2025, podcasting every single day. But first of all, I just want to say thank you for being here. And I'm so curious around your thoughts and your questions. Please get in touch at any time. hello@leannehughes.com or just connect on the socials, LinkedIn. All that will be in the show notes. The focus of this episode and this week really is start of a new year. And I think this planning a new year is an interesting topic to riff on. I listened to a wonderful podcast episode with Jesse Itzler. It was on my first million podcast, and shout out to Andy Storch for sending it through. When Andy sent it through, I was thinking, I listened to it maybe 2 weeks ago, so mid-December, and I'm thinking, I don't really want to think about 2025 just yet. I'm still trying to process this year and wrap it up. It was actually the perfect episode to listen to at that time to wrap it up and then look ahead. So I'm going to share a few things about that episode over the course of this week. The first thing I want to share is Jesse spoke about the concept of Misogi. It's a Japanese phrase with roots in Shinto, the indigenous religion of Japan. It refers to a ritual of purification and renewal, often involving the symbolic or literal cleansing of the body and spirit. Traditionally, it includes practices such as standing under a cold waterfall. That sounds amazing. Immersing oneself in natural water like rivers or the ocean, or performing specific rituals and prayers to cleanse yourself and reconnect with nature or the divine. In a broader modern sense, Misogi has been adapted as a metaphor for taking on challenging or transformative experiences that renew one's sense of purpose, mental clarity, and connection to self. Some use the concept to inspire physical or mental challenges that push personal limits and foster growth. So my question for you is, what is your Misogi? My Misogi is you're listening to it. This is my Misogi for the year. This is definitely going to be a challenge. I think it definitely will renew my sense of purpose, my mental clarity, and it will 110% challenge myself as I even think about doing this. Can I say, over the last 2 weeks, I had a nightmare around this project. I had a nightmare, and it was a very realistic nightmare. It was a nightmare, I think, a few months into the year, and I was just this foreboding pressure of, I've got to produce another podcast episode tomorrow. And I felt that feeling in my stomach. And when I woke up, I was like, that's a real feeling that's going to happen this year. There's going to be times where I haven't prepared anything. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I don't want to break this streak and I want to push out episodes on the daily. I've got a few other things that I'm looking at in terms of making it a really exciting and memorable 2025. The last time I kind of did a Misogi was in 2020, in terms of my one that's been linked to a year. That really stood out for me. That was the year I ran 20 kilometers. And if I try to draw parallels with that, I actually think running 20 kilometers was a little bit easier in that in December, I could just run 10, 15, I was running some half marathons in December just to make up on time. But with this, it's a little bit different. There's that daily deadline that I need to get through. And so there's various ways, and later in the week, I'll talk about some systems that I'll be using to help make this a little bit easier. At the same time, I think it's still going to be challenging. So I'm curious, what could the Misogi look like for you? What is something that is going to renew your sense of purpose, that's going to give you some more clarity and help you connect to yourself as well? When I think about the goals for this podcast, what is interesting around the Misogi, it's not about anyone else. It's really about your connection to you. And it reminds me when I was in Vegas and I was talking to Alan Weiss and I asked him, how are you so prolific? How do you write 5 different articles a day? You post on various platforms. And he just said the secret is because I write for myself. I don't write for anyone else. I'm very selfish. I write what I want to write about. And I'm hoping that if I podcast what's on my mind, what I'm thinking about, what I'm trying to get clear on, I'm hoping that a side effect is that you find value in that too. Maybe you're stuck in a situation, or you're seeking validation as well. With a daily podcast, I can't really be performative. I just have to share like what's on my mind. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. I'm also doing this because looking at outwards in terms of AI, what I'm seeing on so many like social platforms and email newsletters are really professional, really well-structured posts. But I think we've all got a sixth sense for what is AI and what's been written by a person, like a human. While AI can create, it could potentially create just a daily podcast with business tips automatically generated. That's not the goal of this at all. I have to go like the 180 degrees on the other side and just be as real as possible. And so what you'll find on this show is going to be a combination of, yes, there will be some pre-recorded things. Sometimes I'll be working away and maybe I would like to give myself a break, but still bring you the episodes. On other times, I really just want to come to you on the day or record it the night before so that it's in the moment, so that I'm talking about maybe world events or what's going on and just sharing what's on my mind. So I'm doing it because it's challenging. There's a really great framework for Michael Bungay Stanier in his book, How to Begin, when he talks about doing something that matters. And there's 3 different criteria. Is it important? Is it thrilling? And is it daunting? So let's talk through that criteria. And I think this is really great criteria when it comes to picking your Misogi. Thrilling. How much does this excite or energize you? So give it a rating from 1 to 7. 7 is extremely thrilling. 1 is not at all. Number 2, important. How meaningful is this to your values, purpose, or long-term goals? Score 1 is not at all. 7 is extremely important to you. And the third one is daunting. How much does this challenge or push you out of your comfort zone? 7 is terrifyingly daunting. 1 is easy. So let's just kick off I'm just going to do some self-reflection here. Daunting for me, this is a 7 out of 7. This is actually terrifying for me. And you might see me post about it and be all like smiley and like, haha, yeah, I'm podcasting on the daily. I'm absolutely terrified by this. And even as I record this episode, I'm like, wow, the effort going into this one episode. And I've got to record like 364 more. But again, like I said, I'm going to create some systems and formats to make it easier for me, so I'm not facing decision fatigue every time I hit that record button. 2, the importance. How meaningful is this to my values, purpose, or long-term goals? I think it's a 5 out of 7 from importance. Why I'm doing it is I really miss podcasting. I was doing a lot of first-time facilitator for like 5 years and then kind of paused the show, and I was doing pop-up episodes every now and then. But I do miss podcasting. I've discovered that it was a way for me to get ideas because I love thinking out loud. And so it forced me to come up with new things. And I've just felt last year that I just didn't have just as many new ideas burst out of me. And I think it's because I wasn't really talking them through or having really great conversation. You become a better communicator as well. And I really like a lot of the time, like by the end of this, I just want to do these shows completely unedited, completely unfiltered, just hit record and go. And I think over the course of a year, that's my professional development for becoming a better communicator, a better thought breeder, and just sharer of ideas as well. Thrilling. How much does it excite or energize you? I would say it's nerve excitement. So I'd say a 6 out of 7 for that. It is thrilling. And I think what's exciting is when I talk about it and share it with other people, like they are a bit like, oh my goodness. So it's a thrilling goal. It's definitely an audacious goal. I just like that reaction, I think, both in myself and with other people as well. So that's it. I guess the challenge for me is I don't want to, these are, what I love about MBS's measures is these are all linked to me and not about how many downloads I get or will it get me anything really? What's the cause and effect of this? I think this is around a personal mission. It's like running your own marathon. The only person you're competing with is yourself. And I really do like creating streaks and not breaking streaks. But who knows what's going to happen this year? Like there's so many things that are outside of my control. So that's why I think it's for daunting. It's like an 8 out of 7, to be honest. So with the format, what I'm thinking on as we kick off, and this might change like every quarter or whatever, like I guess I get to decide that. What I'm thinking of at the moment is Monday through to Thursday is going to be, 5 to 10 minute solo episodes. Then on Friday, I might actually compile all of those. So if you don't want to listen every single day or include me as part of your morning routine or whenever that is, you can listen to the Friday recap, which is basically just linking Monday through to Thursday in one compiled episode. Then on Saturday and Sunday, I wanted to share just some awesome conversations I've had in the past or podcast episodes that might be helpful for you or maybe are linked to a theme this week. This week, we're really focusing on like a new year and planning and systems. I do a fortnightly live stream with Alan Weiss called Talk the Walk, and I'm going to pop some of those episodes on here. I've done a really great episode with Nair Ayal. He wrote the book Indistractable. So that might be a handy one to throw in here as well. So that's the setup for now. What I want to share with you is that this is how I plan my business and my life, is that sure, I have an idea, but I'm very willing to move things around, to change direction, to tack against the wind if things change. But that's how we'll go. I might also have like a daily email that goes out. I'm not too sure. Again, I feel like I'm creating more work when I don't need to. And for the moment, I just need to keep it lean, keep it simple, and just have this podcast going on. So that's it for now. I'm curious to hear what your Misogi is. Do you have any big plans for your 2025? It's not too late, right? It's the first day of the year. You can even start it later on, or just have a think in January and do some reflection and think about what that might be for you. Hope you're enjoying the New Year energy, and I'll chat to you tomorrow.